Hey YouTube! Like Excalibur, Mjolnir, the legendary hammer of Thor, can only be lifted by someone worthy of it. The hammer bears the inscription, "Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the powers of Thor." The real determination of worthiness is more likely not with the hammer itself, but with the story writers and as the plot requires. Many characters have had the chance to gain the powers of Thor over the years, some through loopholes and others by cheating. Whatever the case may have been, here are 10 characters who have lifted Thor's hammer. Number 10. Hulk. Both Hulk and Red Hulk have lifted and used Mjolnir through the aforementioned loopholes. Red Hulk grabbed onto the hammer while it was flying through the air and used the force of Mjolnir to take both himself and Thor into space. With the lack of gravity in space, he was able to use the hammer against Thor. Hulk was able to get hold of the hammer in similar ways, grabbing the hammer while it was in motion, but during a showdown with Thanos, he was able to use the hammer while Thor was holding it. So the worthiness clause was superseded because of Thor's contact with the hammer, and Hulk was able to handle Mjolnir through that loophole. Number 9. Magneto. Marvel's Ultimate Universe is an alternate world that is a bit darker and grittier than the normal Marvel Universe, and in this alternate version, Magneto, who has the power to manipulate all kinds of metals, could also move Mjolnir. So Magneto didn't actually lift the hammer, but he could control the air around it and make it do his bidding. In the main Marvel Universe, Magneto cannot control Thor's hammer at all. Mjolnir was forged out of Uru, a metal not native to Earth. Because of that, Magneto can't control it. Why he can control it in the Ultimate Universe is a mystery. But that's why we love comics, isn't it? Number 8. Black Widow. Natasha Romanoff, also known as Black Widow, got to wield Mjolnir in an issue of What If. During Ragnarok, the mythical end-of-the-world apocalypse in Norse mythology, all the superpowered heroes lay dead. The only people left to battle the frost giants are those without powers. Natasha is sent to find the hammer, and because of the desperate situation, she is deemed worthy to lift it. There are theories that if one has the heart of a warrior, this might be one among other qualities that the Norse gods would require, like nobility and honor. Black Widow may not have the purest moral past, but she is definitely a warrior. Number 7. Storm. An X-Men member with the power to manipulate weather, Storm is not so far from being a god of thunder herself. Loki, wanting to cause chaos as usual, creates a hammer called Stormcaster and gives it to Storm. Resisting Loki's games, she rejects Stormcaster, but many years later, she wields it again in a battle with Thor. But it wasn't Thor she wanted to destroy. Getting hold of Mjolnir, she obliterated the Stormcaster hammer. Because she did not use the power given to her by Stormcaster for evil means, she proved that she was worthy of Mjolnir. Number 6. Vision. Unlike his comic book counterpart, who cannot lift the hammer, Vision, in the movie Avengers Age of Ultron, proved to his teammates that he was trustworthy when he handed Mjolnir to Thor, in what was both a funny moment and a perfect way to show theater-goers the newly created android was friendly to the good guys. As a robot, Vision can't gain the full powers of Thor, but it was necessary to the plot of the film that the clouds of mystery surrounding Vision be parted. Number 5. Deadpool. Even those that don't know a lot about the sharp-witted, wisecracking Deadpool might not have known that he once got his hands on Thor's hammer. Of course, Loki, Thor's adopted brother and god of mischief, was behind the whole caper. He manipulates Deadpool into stealing the hammer when Thor drops it while on a mission. Thor turns back to a normal-looking human, and Deadpool grows a cape. Deadpool, being the irreverent guy he is, takes the hammer to a baseball park to hit a few during a game, to an amusement park to try his hand at ringing the bell, and other zany trips. But it turned out that Deadpool didn't ever really have the real Mjolnir. Loki caused the real one to be invisible and gave Deadpool illusionary Thor powers just to see how much trouble he could cause. At least Deadpool had fun with it. Number 4. Superman. Since 1979, DC and Marvel have been trying to put together a big crossover. Finally, in 2003, we got JLA Avengers, and it was worth the wait. During the series, Superman got hold of both Thor's hammer and Captain America's shield. Perfect for a dramatic cover on issue 4. Because of the incredible situation, Superman was able to wield Mjolnir once to deliver an important blow to the enemy, but later when he tried to pick the hammer up to give it back to Thor, he was not able to lift it. The definition of worthiness in this case was not just an inherent quality, but something that could change from moment to moment. Striking the enemy with the hammer is a worthy action, but letting Superman hand the hammer back, not so much. Number 3, Jane Foster. A recent Thor title featured a female version of Thor on the cover. The creators insisted that the new character was Thor, and it got a lot of media attention. It wasn't Lady Thor, she wasn't Thor Woman, she was Thor, but not the Thor everyone knew, and what her true identity was drove the story. Eventually, we discovered that she was actually Thor's on-again, off-again love interest, Jane Foster. At a time when the original Thor, going by the name of Odin's son when he was without his powers, was not worthy of Mjolnir, the new Thor took over the role. Odin's son did try to get his hammer back, but then starts to respect the abilities of Thor, and gave her his blessing to carry on as Thor. At first, Odin's son did not think it was Jane who was wielding the hammer because she was going through treatments for her breast cancer. But as it turned out, Jane was perfectly healthy while transformed as Thor. But when she wasn't, her cancer was getting worse because of the stress to her body the transformations were causing. But Jane Foster is still currently Thor, and is possibly the most worthy of all. Number 2, Loki. Even in childhood, Loki has been jealous of Thor and his powers, using every trick he could to get a hold of Mjolnir, or to get the hammer away from Thor. He failed over and over again. But during an event called the Inversion, Loki became the god of heroism and truth, instead of villainy and mischief, while Thor becomes a supervillain. Now Loki is worthy of Mjolnir and discovers he can lift it while battling his now evil brother. But the inversion spell doesn't last forever and is undone, causing Loki to lose the hammer to his brother again. Number 1, Captain America. Most readers won't be surprised that Captain America has used the hammer. With his honesty, pure heart, and steadfast morals, and considering he isn't afraid to go to battle when necessary, making him just about right for lifting Mjolnir. But did you know he has done so twice in the comics already? The first time, Cap was returning the hammer to Thor. Superman couldn't do it, but the Captain could. See what we said about plots and the whims of writers? The second time, the Avengers were in similar high-danger levels, and after his shield is shattered, Cap grabs the hammer and rallies the Avengers to battle their enemy, the Serpent. But unlike Deadpool, Cap didn't get a cool red cape. So that was 10 characters who have lifted Thor's hammer. Thanks for watching. Like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe.